So what happened? He looked at the dog and he looked at the mistress and he felt one thing confirm. Somehow he should, who is this he, the doctor, should separate these both of them. Why? Because the lady is there, the owner of the dog, the mistress is going on offering him lot of food, and the dog is never denying. His dog is very happy to take the food all the time. He had never been known to refuse food. He would tackle a meat at any hour of the day or night, and I wondered about all the things Mrs. Famfrey hadn't mentioned. Okay, now what is happening here? He can imagine now. Why? Because looking at the dog is greedy, and there is a person who is providing, then nothing can be avoided. So he says, I can now imagine the amount of food she is giving. So she says, my little dog is so happy. Even at night, if I am able to provide him anything, meal, he never refuses. So I feel very happy and satisfied to feed the dog. I hope you are able to understand the critical situation, why the dog has become sick actually. That is the reason I told you, the taking the remedy that we have planned, the chosen to treat is very, very important. We have to go for right remedy, then only things will happen. So at times we need to be stern at certain things, then only we will be able to set right things in the right. Now this dog need to be starved, kept for starvation for some days, then it will automatically become very active. But what is happening for the dog? Any number, any cookies, anything she is giving, and then how will the dog, poor little one, deny? Because when it is very attractive, and then it will definitely consume things. Are you giving him plenty of exercises? Then when regarding food, she failed. It's an act of failure, right? Then the doctor is asking, what about the exercises that I have suggested that you have to give to this dog? See the exercises that is going on. The worker is throwing the ring, and then the dog is playing, and then dog will have a running race also every now and then, and it will be roaming about in the garden. Then mistress also will be taking the dog for a walk. Okay, and maybe some more exercises the doctor must have prescribed or suggested. Now let us see whether this dog had this regular exercise. Well, he has his little walks with me, as you can see. Okay, now I am taking this little dog with me for a walk. And then what happened? But Hodkin is a gardener, has been down with Lumbago. Okay, what is the meaning of lumbago, children? The meaning is here, muscular pain in the lower part of the abdomen pain. Okay, lumbar region, and that is the reason it is called lumbago. So he is suffering. The gardener is suffering with this problem, and therefore he cannot jump. When abdominal pain comes, people, the stomach pain, it's terrible. So he cannot throw, he cannot sit, he cannot lie down, he is restless. Then how can you expect gardener to play with the dog? Naturally, the dog has absolutely no physical exercise. I tried to sound severe. Now I really mean this. So doctor is getting angry with this woman, and he started telling it's really so serious. If you don't cut his food right down and give him more exercise, he is going to be really ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a very strict diet. See children, what will happen? Now if the mistress is unable to control herself, her emotion, and so much attachment to this dog, everything is fine. But then is that passion, is that love towards this, is that affection that she has for this dog going to help the dog? it's not going to help the dog. So someone should be stern. So the doctor is telling him it should be stopped immediately. Let us do something what good for the dog. So you keep maintain strict diet for the dog if you want a healthy active dog. Mrs. Famfrey wrung her hands. See, she started showing her hands in the air, moving out. Oh, I will, Mr. Harriet. So immediately she says she understands the problem and she's saying, okay, doctor, definitely I'm going to do that. I'm sure you are right. I know whatever you suggest me is right. But it is so difficult. What is so difficult? So very difficult. What is that so very difficult? She set off, head down along the road as if determined to put the new regime. Regime means the prescribed course of exercise. In other words, the schedule or the timetable or the plan, anything that you can take into practice immediately. So this woman understood that this dog needs to be given a special treatment and that treatment is going to hurt both of them. But then if she needs a dog, a healthy dog, then there should be somewhere a change brought in. And she said she has promised the doctor, definitely I'm going to give I will try and I need actually, but then I will try to do that you have suggested. I watched their progress with growing concern. Tricky was tottering along in his little tweed coat. He had a whole wardrobe of these coats for the cold weather and the raincoat for the wet days. Can you imagine, children? Actually, we are talking about a dog and the owner of the dog, the mistress, and in the initial state, from the moment I started the story, I told you that this woman is very rich and she is pampering the dog and she loves the dog. She cannot without this dog. Okay, but then to what extent she loves this dog, see here the number of sweaters she has provided for the dog, for rain season raincoats, because she has to take the dog for walking, right? So she needs the raincoats, so she purchased number of raincoats and she says, I have got a whole wardrobe of these doggies, the Tricky's clothes, sweaters. Do you all also have a pet? And do you maintain to this level? Okay. He struggled on, drooping, bending down. Drooping means bend downwards in his harness. I thought it wouldn't be long before I heard from Mrs. Fampery. Now tell me, students, who is talking in this particular paragraph? He struggled on, drooping in his harness. I thought it wouldn't be long before I heard from Mrs. Fampery. Yeah. This is the beauty of the language. Here, the doctor is telling us in a plain explanation, if I need to give you, is that doctor is waiting for Mrs. Fampery's call, stating that dog is not well. It's very plain and simple, right? But then what is it given here? Looking at the dog, struggling, unable to move. See how sickly the dog looks. And then he says, I know this dog she cannot manage any longer and it really requires the treatment. And then he is thinking very soon that I will be called to treat this dog. Okay, children, that is the meaning of this. Okay, coming down to this. The expected call came within a few days. I told you doctor said looking at the dog, very soon he is going to get a call from this family to treat this dog, and so as expected he got a call. Within few days Mrs. Fampry was distraughted, extremely worried. Chicky was eating nothing. There came a time where nothing was taken in. The Chicky is unable to take in anymore. Refused even his favorite dishes, and besides he had bouts of vomiting. So what she says, indigestion has taken place, and then this dog has consumed a lot of food, and then because of this indigestion, what is happening, the dog is vomiting everywhere and it is not taking any food. So now definitely the owner of this dog is very upset and calling for the doctor. He spent all his time lying on a rug, panting, didn't want to go for walks, didn't want to do anything. So this is a complaint the lady Mrs. Fampry is giving to the doctor. Complaint. What is that complaint? See doctor, my dog. See, panting means breathing with short, quick breaths, out of breath. Is unable to even breathe. Okay, the difficulty in breathing, and he is not able to comfortably sleep even though he has got bed, and he is unable to go for a walk with me, and kindly do something so that my dog will have next. I had made my plans in advance. The only way was to get Tricky out of the house for a period. I told you, no? Already, the moment the doctor saw this dog with this lady on the road, he understood, and the diet that she has explained, he understood the dog needs to be separated from this owner. Then only both of them will have some good time. The dog will become healthy, will become normal, and then will return to its owner. Who is this I again here? Yes, the doctor. So now the doctor feels the Tricky needs to be separated for a period of time from this rich house. I suggested that he be hospitalized for about a fortnight to be kept under observation. You know what is the meaning of fortnight? Fortnight means 15 days. So doctor told her the dog needs a lot of care. So you send the Tricky to the hospital and let the dog be in the hospital for fortnight, for almost 15 days. The poor lady almost swooned. What is swooned? Fainted due to extreme emotion. She could not even imagine that the dog should be in the hospital for 15 days. Okay, so she almost fainted. She heard something unexpected. Was sure he would pine, miss, or long for. So she says, instead of telling I will miss the dog, she says dog will miss me so much and he will look for me. He won't stay in a hospital and die if he didn't see her every day. Suppose the dog, this Tricky, did not see me every day, it will even die. What do you say, students? Will the dog die? But I took a firm line. Tricky was very ill and this was the only way to save him. In fact, I thought it best to take him without delay, and followed by Mrs. Fampry's wailings, underline wailings, I marched out to the car carrying the little dog wrapped in a blanket. So the doctor decided this, wailing means the woman is crying. Fampry is crying and shouting and feeling so sorry. But then the doctor said it has to be taken. So he is taking the dog to the hospital. Now what is happening in the house? You see, the entire staff in the house is running about getting all the dog's things. What are those things that dog had? Bringing his day bed, night bed, favorite cushion, toys, rubbing rings, breakfast ball, lunch ball, supper ball. All these things for the dog she has accumulated, and dog is going to the hospital and she is sending along with the dog all these things. Do you think the car will carry? Realizing that my car would never hold the staff, I started to drive away and I moved off. And doctor understood it is not going to happen, and he took the dog and